My name is Bronte. I am a 13-year-old at Year 8 at St. Monica's College, Epping. I'm going to be speaking to you about how autistic students should be treated in schools.
Hi everyone, my name's Katrina. I'm an adult on the autism spectrum.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris. I'm very proudly on the autism spectrum with Asperger's.
Hello, my name is Colleen O'Neill. I'm an education support teacher at St. Monica's College in Epping.
Hello, my name's Jack. I'm 17.
Hello, I'm Isabel.
So my name's Sophie Smythe.
Hi, my name is Julian. I am a 14-year-old boy in St. Monica's College.
I'm Maggie and I'm 11 and I'm in Year 6 in primary school.
I'm Ted. My sister's Maggie and I'm 12 and it's my first year of high school.
My name is Joshua Stokes and I'd like to talk about things which I enjoyed about school.
Hey everyone, my name is Blake and I'm in grade 5. I love to do science as well as performing arts. I have some great teachers who really try hard to help me do the best I can do.
So before you start thinking that school must have been really awful for me, firstly it really was, but secondly it was the best thing ever. I loved learning and school provided the intellectual challenge that I desperately needed.
One of the things I enjoyed was maths because it's something where you have to think logically, and that was really easy for me.
The best thing about school, well, it's that I have lots of friends. Lots of just stuff that I can do, and I know lots of teachers, and it's just a really good school.
I like it because I have friends.
And usually not many people are talented at more than one thing, but I'm talented at like everything.
But I'm just crazy good at everything. Like, pretty much throw anything at me, I'm good at it.
Anyways, today I am running for school vice captain, and yeah, I may not have the strength, speed, or humor like the other candidates, but I do have intelligence, acceptance, and tolerance of intolerance.
And I had a pretty good time, really, on the whole. I had a series of really good teachers and some teachers that I don't think really knew how to handle me.
Hey, my name's Oscar, and some stuff I like about school is my English teacher, Mr. Daly. He just knows so much stuff about English in general, the etymology of words, and where their origins came from, giving each word a new meaning, and making the whole class just so much more interesting.
One thing I find really positive with my school experience is the amount of support I get from teachers. They understand me, they get what I want to do.
In Year 7, I had a good year because I had a fantastic school officers and really helpful teachers who really understood me.
But it's also where I got the best bit of advice for, I would guess my whole life, was from Year 11 drama teacher, where I made the comment of like, God, I really want to be able to do an arts career, but that just seems really hard. And she said, yeah, but any career's hard if you want to do well in it. And that's kind of been my attitude since then, is knowing that it's only going to be worth it if it's hard.
I think a lot of autistic kids would be having trouble both academically and socially somewhere in schools. It's a big problem.
I have very good hearing, but sometimes in the classroom that means when teachers talk too loud or too quickly, like I'm doing now, I can't hear them because it hurts my ears.
You tend to miss social cues, like when people want to stop having a conversation.
In fact, they have to learn all their lives because they are trying to adapt to an environment that's not suitable to them. They think differently, they react differently.
I was a student who was very anxious. I could get worked up about all sorts of funny things that your typical teacher would never perceive.
There's so much. There's that and this and that, I don't know, and there's everything I have to do, but I can't do.
75% of the reason I definitely don't want homework is probably just because of my own selfish reasons. But the other 25 is because it is quite stressful to go, finally, we're home. Jeremy, got homework to do. No!
Meeting new people, didn't like it. It wasn't that I didn't like the people, I just didn't like the process of meeting them.
When the bell rang for the first time, I was absolutely lost. I couldn't find even my classroom. I was a little bit embarrassed.
I was terrified of school because I never knew what to expect. I also didn't feel like the staff really understood when I was upset due to the unpredictability of it all.
I think when I was 7, I got a misdiagnosis of ADHD from the Royal Children's Hospital and got put on Ritalin, which is like giving a 7-year-old autistic child speed. And so from that I got a lot of side effects, like when I'd have a meltdown, I had out-of-body experiences. I heard voices in my head and nobody believed me.
They mistook my behaviour, my autism behaviour, as being naughty, and they assumed that I wouldn't be able to do certain things. When I felt that people didn't believe in me, I felt alone, and that led to anxiety in the future, like for seeing them from my next class, because I didn't think that they had my best interest at heart.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything positive about my my education years. It's one of those unfortunately very sad and negative ones. So yeah, nothing really comes to mind as far as that goes. So
yeah, there's not really anything positive that came out of my schooling life. I had a really awful time at school. I went to about 5 different schools growing up, from reception to high school, and I just had an awful time.
Had a lot of problems with bullying for the last 7 years of my schooling.
I was bullied in year 7 once, but the school have a no bullying policy, and it was dealt with fairly quickly.
A lot of a bit of physical stuff, particularly when I was younger.
In grade 3, I was diagnosed with a non-verbal learning disability and social anxiety. We had a meeting with my teacher to explain why I was refusing to go to school, and she promptly said, "I don't believe in learning disabilities or mental health problems. I'll make my own judgments about my own children." From then on, my life was made an absolute misery. She would tell me that I wasn't trying hard enough, that my handwriting was awful, despite the fact that I have dyspraxia. She would tell me that I was purposely sabotaging my work and that I wasn't doing well enough in front of all of the other students. And the vice principal the principal really had no idea, didn't seem to care, and just told my parents that they were bad parents.
The thing is that it seems that every single school has their own guidelines. They have their own way of implementing those guidelines. There's no one checking that those guidelines are being upheld.
I was getting told you need to copy normal people. You need to find normal people and copy them, and that's how you need to be. That's how you need to behave.
As soon as I came out as being autistic to the teachers, they instantly said, okay, that's why she's having a bad time with this, and refused to really help me. They believed that because she's autistic, there's no way we're going to be able to help her. She's reading situations incorrectly. This is a problem with her rather than other students and rather with the school system itself. And we're just going to ignore this difficulty.
If I become school vice captain, I will make Mondays fun.
My mum and my dad, but especially my mum, were my biggest advocates throughout this whole period. They were going to the school, they were letting them know what was going on, and they were really fighting for me hard, and that really was what got me through.
So you've got parents like myself becoming pain-in-the-bum parents, hassling schools and creating difficult, acrimonious relationships with schools because we want the best for our children.
After year 7, and with the support of my mother, everything began to improve. I was no longer being bullied, and I was coping better with the schoolwork.
I will start an anti-bullying program. I will get a therapist to help you with your problems.
We've also been able to bring in other ways of working so Scott can benefit from the things that he can do. So in the first year of his schooling, Scott's teacher tested him on everything orally because she understood that he has everything in his mind and just couldn't write it down.
We're having one teacher who took a special interest in Penny and who could advocate on her behalf. I was able to contact this teacher who could follow up any episodes of bullying.
And people saw me as something that they could utilise rather than a burden, and I could sense that belief in me. I was able to step up to my potential.
I just think it's so important if you're a principal or a senior leadership group in a school that you grab those teacher champions like your Mrs. Horvaths and you celebrate them among their peers.
Okay, so a positive learning environment to work in. It's also safe and a place where they can come throughout the day if they need to self-regulate, or a place at recess and lunch where they can come as a safe place to be.
What my school have done is they have this individual needs area where certain staff cater with people who are feeling overwhelmed and sort of help them get back to their work, and it's very useful.
We consider the lighting, the noise, and just the general area that it's comfortable and inviting for the students.
The kind of strategies that we've used to help Scott in the classroom have actually been beneficial for other children. So we've taken in charts that help explain social and emotional regulation so that children can help move themselves from the red zone, where what do they feel like? Into the green zone, where they're calmer.
So today I want to talk to you about the one voice. One voice is when teachers use the same tone and speak very clearly to me. I can hear what they are saying. I now know when they are happy because they are using happy describing words. I know when they're disappointed because they use disappointing words. When people talk to me in a nice, kind manner, I can hear them very easy, and it doesn't hurt my ears or confuse me.
I will get people to be more accepting of all sexualities, cultures, and religions, except any disgusting or messed up ones and cults that are bad for you.
Schools also need to start listening to parents and students as to how to better support them, as they are the experts on how they learn best.
When you go to high school, especially in a special school, the focus is on academia, getting a pass mark, but that doesn't mean that the child is learning. All they do to learn how to do is get a pass. I think it's more important at that stage to think about the combination required, the training required for the teachers, the acceptance for that school, and so as parents, let's focus on that as opposed to just pure academia.
He has a revised curriculum now, which means that he's making gains all the time, but then we're not expecting him or pushing him to progress in a certain way that fits a school standard.
And you need to be able to teach the students on their intelligence level. Like some might be able to learn a lot better by walking than reading a sheet of paper, or you could use toys or things they might like or find interesting to help teach them in engaging ways.
I mainly use older style resources, which is what works best for me. So books, libraries. I even have a tape recorder to record my classes.
In school, the only thing I really do enjoy is things where I get my hands dirty. So like stuff where I actually do my hands, like cooking or food technology, woodwork, metalwork.
I would have liked to do more computer-related stuff while I was at school because it was like my jam in a way.
I think teachers need better awareness among all people, so better awareness and better options, I suppose, for autistic kids to have improved teaching aids or aids for their learning.
Autism is this huge one that teachers need to learn about, but I think they also need to learn about all the other little learning disabilities like NVLD, dyspraxia, and all that kind of stuff that can come with having autism.
Another thing which I would like school to have is to have some activities for the children to improve their motor skills.
I think the biggest thing that needs to change is for the education department to take accountability for the way that our kids learn and the way that they need to learn.
I think what schools can do to make the life of an autistic person and their family better is actually be accountable to certain guidelines and best practices that ensures that enrolment and as the child goes along the school year by year, that every teacher has the appropriate training, that they're the appropriate meetings that are held every term to understand that child, and that there are school systemic changes to support that child. And I'm sure there's more than one autistic child in most schools.
For it to be better for autistic people, I think we just there needs to be more of a conversation and more of an understanding.
And also, they don't talk about mental health as much as they should. They seldom talk about it in phys ed and health, and that's a really important thing.
I can imagine the depression and aggression toll going down with more people, not just autistic, learning how to self-regulate in ways that are safe for them and safe for others.
I sort of wish that there was like this quiet area where I could relax and and have a lot of comfort.
So I was just a squeaky clean student and just didn't have an education because the schooling system couldn't support me. So I was constantly flipping in between mainstream schooling and disability schooling, and I didn't really fit in either of those. I couldn't get supported in either of those.
It's been shown time and again that adjustments made for Asperger's learning needs benefit all students.
And if we don't have things like autistic people in mainstream schools, the disability community in mainstream schools, then our society gets out to the real world and they don't know how to interact with that part of the community. And though the disability community and autistic community don't know how to interact with mainstream society, so there's that real divide there in our society due to us not getting it in the schooling system.
Scott goes to the local primary school. He's in a mainstream school, and for Scott that's really great because he's got so many friends there that he's made. There might be elements that he struggles with academically, but he's actually really bright, really friendly, and he's really helping the friends around him. So even children in his classroom that might be very good academically benefit from Scott's caring, friendly nature, and he really is helping people around him all the time.
I'm pretty much like any other person except for I have autism, and I'm quite smart. I do help some kids sometimes.
with tricky stuff. I'm always just pretty easy with tricky stuff.
I will make this school better than it usually is. Vote for me, and we'll have a more productive school. And that's why I want to be your school vice captain!
I believe the main change schools should make to support students on the spectrum is educate staff members about what autism is and how diverse the spectrum is. As if you met one person on the autism spectrum, you have only met one person on the autism spectrum.
I thought I wouldn't belong in this world because I have autism. Now I've found my place in this world, and it's because I've embraced my autism.
Overall, I just want to say to all the kids who are still in high school and primary school, keep fighting. It will get better. I know it seems really hard right now and really difficult, but once I finished high school and found what I wanted to do, it just became so much easier, and my life is wonderful now. And I really accredit it to those few teachers that I had that just really made my life a huge difference and supported me.
Encouraging our differences as humans instead of segregating people who are autistic from neurotypical people. It's the same as what the LGBTQI experience has been. Gays were shamed, people who are transgender have been shamed, and we need to own it for the autistic community.
Schools are about to undergo a transformation in the way they operate. Disabled people are lobbying for inclusive schooling, schools that are built and run to support all children. One day, there will not be any segregated schooling, which will have follow-on effects into our communities and workplaces. It's simple. We belong.
I just hope that in future people will be able to accept me and others like me in the way that my school has done for me.
And when I see myself in the future, I see myself as a hard-working man.
Because my brain is the control of me, so I can control whatever I can do. And my body can do all sorts of weird tricks, like this.
Hi, I'm Jack. Thanks for listening to my story.
Thanks for listening to my Spectrospective story, and I hope to hear your feedback soon.
Tilly out.
Thanks for watching this video on my life about autism. On my life, I have peace. Hope you enjoyed it.